I guess I'll just call it Max White Presents.
Max White, everyone.
We're live, Jamali.
Yo,
Staying
what's
live
up,
over there.
Max?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm all right, bro. Long time, man. How you been?
I'm good. I think it's probably as weird in New York as it is in London, but you guys have that new
Mm.
strain. So what's going on over there?
Well, I mean, it's like what it's been like since early this year, where we don't know what's going on really. They say there's a new strain, which I mean, they say like I'm gonna go into conspiracy, but they say there's a new strain now. So it's 70% more, but 70% more likely to catch. It's more transmissible. And then what they're basically saying is that the strain came from South Africa. So someone's come from South Africa with the strain. Now they're saying it might have happened and
They're,
then passed it on through that way.
they're already passing the buck to South Africa because
Yeah, they're saying
here,
South Africa did it. Yeah.
here they're blaming you. Like they're saying
Oh,
that
then
anyone
UK.
that came in from Britain right now, cops effective today, are going to go
Mm.
door to door and check on people in hotels and Airbnbs to make
What?
sure they're maintaining quarantine. If they're not, they can be deported and $1,000 fine.
Wow. I
And it's
didn't
like
know
going
that, man.
so hard.
I mean, you know what's going on with the ports and that. So basically, we got this Dover to France ferry, which basically transports goods, and it's a lot of van drivers. And now there's like a huge backlog of vans and lorries that can't get on the ferry because of the virus, and they're trapped there. And they've closed all the borders. So everyone shut their borders to us now. So basically, we can't even leave London, you know. So we're trapped in London now because basically it's different tiers and different towns. So
Is
some
it
towns is yeah, so
is it divided into like the subway districts, like the 1, 2, and 3?
no. You can. I mean, well, no. I think now you can't even. I think you're meant to stay in your house now, but you definitely can't leave London. Like you can't go London to Bristol. Like that's banned unless you got work. But
Wow.
again, it's that weird thing of it's kind of impossible because it's a social contract. It's not, no, they don't have. I don't think the police have the manpower to stop everyone on the motorway. Just what I'm saying, like they just don't have that finance.
Yeah,
So it's
but you
like,
you guys have like the ultimate CCTV infrastructure though.
I don't think that's being used for this. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
and that's like in your city centers. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
there could be a way. I mean, they could track your number plates, but I think they already know that people are on the edge anyway. So if they start tracking you and giving you fines, I think you'll fucking go over the edge. So I think they're trying to maintain some type of, we're all in this together type thing, as opposed
I
to the state versus you.
I just rewatched all the Snowden documentary and then the Oliver Stone
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Man, I thought we were the real bad ones, but you guys are next level.
Oh man, we're like the most watched place in Europe, man. Like
And there's a
everywhere CCTV.
dude, and there's a cable that runs right from there. It's like just north of Bristol
Mm.
to Jersey here. That's like
Wow,
it's the main heartbeat of the intelligence community going on. And I was
it's
like, when you
crazy.
watch a documentary now and I'm ADD, so I'm on my phone Googling stuff that comes up. And
Yeah,
there's like a little town in Jersey that the cable basically runs to. And that's when we were tapping Merkel and everybody, which we probably still are.
fucking crazy. I didn't
What's
even know that shit, man.
Dude, what's going on with comedy now? Because obviously you're a stand-up comedian. What do we do?
What comedy? There is, bruv. Comedy.
I
There's
know.
no comedy, bruv.
I know. It's
Bruv, you're talking about comedy, bruv. It's done.
I know. There's nothing
Bruv,
funny anymore.
you better get some TikTok or something, fam. You know what I'm saying? You better
But
make a
dude,
little
I
funky video.
don't star. I thought, dude.
You better get a little. You better sell them skateboards and make some TikToks, bruv.
Oh man, I'm gonna fucking start dancing next to Care Bears here in about 5
Yeah,
minutes.
man. Yeah, with a Care Bear filter in that, bro.
Yeah, like
I mean,
and then
so go.
no, go. What's up?
No, I mean, I think all jokes aside, it's going through its evolution and it's kind of speeded up, where it was inevitably going, which is everything kind of going online anyway. And I think it's just speeded up that process. I think the process was inevitable that, it was all about going to be online and having content and all this shit. But I think it's just speeded up the process. And I think you just kind of have to, if you're really about it, just have different avenues of finances if you're, because live, it just ain't paying for it no more. I mean, there is no live circuit. Live was always like when I was doing stand up, live was always the safety net. Like you were like, oh, if TV doesn't work out, if this doesn't work out, I'll just do live. I'll just go back to the clubs where that doesn't exist, and it shows you how fickle it was, you know?
It's weird because I just wanted to be a nightclub comedian.
Yeah.
I thought that was enough. But then it's weird because you start getting a certain place in your nightclub comedy where you're like, oh, I could work on other projects. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then now we're here and it's just all online content.
Yeah, but did you think that was sustainable to be a nightclub comedian? Because I think like even pre this, dudes were saying that it's kind of becoming unsustainable to be just a club comic in England. I mean, I don't know about America, but you know, because I know America, if you start headlining weekends, when I did tours in America, I did off nights and made okay money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could do a Tuesday at Portland Helium and make okay money and make more money than I would doing clubs in England on a Tuesday. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it's kind of like, unless you're like a headliner.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to tell me I don't know really about America, but in England, it's like, it was coming towards a point where it was getting harder to be just a club comedian. You kind of had to have something else cooking as well, I think.
It seems like there's like a few people in New York City that can make a really good living doing spots in the city, like premium top of the food chain spots. And then you
What's
work
like the highest paid spots?
Fuck.
What's that paying? 200 a set? 300 a set or something?
No, I don't know anyone like that. I mean, unless it's like, you know, I guess I don't know enough about the top of the food chain stuff. Everyone has their own deals, but like typical spot isn't that much at like the Cellar. But like I know some of the bigger comedy clubs, like I don't mean bigger in terms of reputation, but bigger in terms of size, like in there.
Yeah.
I think they pay more. But again, I haven't done those deals. Like I've seen the best comics in the world take $50.
Oh, wait, so is this just to do spots in the city?
Yeah, this is just spots in the city. Yeah,
and people negotiate. So there's no flat fee for spots in the city. Like people can negotiate spots in the city fees.
So there's flat spots, flat pay spots at places like the Cellar, right? But then there's also door deals when they do like special shows for themselves at these comedy clubs. I don't think Cellar counts.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like the same as here. Like if I did Top Secret, it'd be flat. But then if I did a solo, I could get a door deal on that. Yeah, same here.
Yeah, or like at Top Secret, I know even for me, like you do the flat spots downstairs and upstairs on like a Friday night. But if you book your preview, and like you know you get bucket. So I don't. That's a good question.
Oh, you can charge, but I get what you're saying. Yeah,
or tickets or whatever you want to do. But that's interesting to me because the dudes that are like really hitting it hard, like your top 1%ers here, are like working the weekends and they're gone Thursday through Sunday every week, or it used to be. They're making like you take like they're making so much money on door deals. Like my home club where I started, big names would come in there and make $30,000-$40,000 in a weekend.
What club's that?
Dr. Grins.
Dr. Grins, where's that?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, Grand Rapids. Okay.
It's such a comedy spot. I think, and again, I didn't see the books, but I heard of a door deal that was that because the comic just took ticket, and then I believe how it works is the club keeps the bar, which they're doing 5 and 6 shows, and they're selling out every single one. Because I hosted for a couple of guys like that when I was there, and it was pretty wild to be like. And then you see like in the summer when they have the less known headliners come in, how different it is because
when I came in.
I think you get winter dates. You got the.
No, I did summer date. Did you know I've only done one club weekend. The rest of them I just did door deals on an off night.
Really?
Yeah, I made more money doing door deals on an off night than I did the whole weekend.
Wait, so these headphones are bothering me. I'm trying to figure this out. But what is weird to me, can you wait? I'm not going to be able to hear you now. 1 second. Hold up, Jamali. All right, so we'll go back to what I was saying before the tech meltdown. But you're the indie. Like I've done your shows. I've been your fluffer. They like you got the indie ticket in that you can do an off night and pack it out, no problem, because your people aren't of the old strategy. Like it's not the old way of like. I mean, it was weird to see because I worked for some headliners before I moved to New York, and it was like, those guys are like, I would say their target demo is like people that are like, oh, who's at Dr. Grin's this weekend? You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna go see some comedy and they're gonna have their drinks and they're gonna have a great time with their 2-drink minimum. But like, I saw the show we did in Chicago that I did that was fucking awesome. That was like
That was fun.
That was so much
It
fun.
doesn't feel like a year ago, innit?
Dude, I can't decide. I go for moments of, was it a week ago or was it a lifetime ago? I can't.
It feels at least like this year, but it's not.
I can't.
It was cold as fuck, so it must have been like
It was November.
No,
I mean, it was right. It
November.
was right when I was back in Michigan. So yeah, that was that was an emotional show. That was a rough week. That was awesome to come see. Yeah, that was wild. We just cut out of there.
Sorry.
But they had but I always thought that's the future of what our job is like the way you're doing it. Like you're kind of state of the art in that you book your own, you bring your own, you deal with the door yourself, or like the shows here at Union Hall that you did.
Yeah.
Which was what, 2 years ago?
That was about 2 years ago. I mean, the thing is you have to weigh the risk with the reward. So say I did Chicago sold out, right?
Yeah.
And made good money, boom. I mean, what I consider good money, boom, yeah. But then I did New Orleans and maybe sold 10 tickets. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, and I did like fucking, I did like Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. I maybe sold 40 tickets. But then I would do, I'd do New York and I would sell 300. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just about the risk and the reward. Or I go Miami and I'll sell out. I'll sell, 200 tickets, and it's like you kind of have to risk you have to hold the risk as well because I'm paying for it all. So it's not like the club are flying me out. Because then I did a club weekend. And so I did one show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Yeah, so Thursday. So I did like 5-6 shows. And I made less money than when I did one show in Portland.
Yeah, that's.
Do you know what I'm saying? On a Tuesday. And
a lot of that city, like New Orleans is not a stand-up town. Like.
Oh yeah. No. I agree with what you're saying, but I'm just saying in terms of like that. How can I put it? It's like so when I did that club that weekend, I made less money. But then they paid for my hotel, they paid for my flight.
Yeah.
Boom. Do you know what I'm saying? They pick you up. And so you're not paying for your travel from the airport. And little things like that, like what other people that don't, people listening might go, well, why does that matter? Is that because that all eats into profit, and when it's your business, it's all margins, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like, so you could sort of go, okay, cool. I could just do the weekends and do 5 shows and probably earn less money, or I could risk it and say, okay, cool. I might sell here. I might have to build more market here and come back regularly. Like, I did Cleveland and I did a bowling alley and I sold, 20 tickets. But then in my mind, it's like, okay, cool. Next time I go Cleveland, I could sell, hopefully sell 50 tickets or maybe 45 tickets. And then what I do is I use that Miami show, which I know sells well, to help pay for the other shows. Because those American shows, like when I do those American tours, quote unquote, I don't really make no money. I'm breaking even or losing a little bit, but it's just about.
Are you saying like in terms of after the flights and everything?
Yeah, after flights, hotels, after
You also live pretty plush when you're over here, though. You are not on the like you're not a couch surfer. Every time I see you in New York, I'm like, why the fuck don't you stay at my house? Like you're like, oh, I'm at the W Hotel.
Yeah, but I don't want to impose on you.
I get it, but like, I mean, it's just
I get what you're saying. It's like
that's the leftover TV residue in you.
Yeah, but you know what I do is like so. But when I'm doing when I'm in New York. That's I don't class that as money or business. I just class that as that's my holiday time.
Yeah.
So I might book something nice for that, but when I'm on the rest of the tour, I'm staying in fucking budget hotels. Like I grind. I do when I'm on tour. I do grind.
It's so weird because even doing your show, like in Chicago, which is packed out like to the gills.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember talking after the show, and we're like, "Oh, dude, this is gonna be great next year." And then now it's just
Gone. And it's, and because someone was asking me, I don't know what type of podcast this is, so sorry if this is boring. Somebody was asking me, about the second lockdown, because we had a second lockdown here. And they're like, oh, how do you feel about it? And it was like the first lockdown took so much from me,
yeah,
in terms of work. And I was sort of like building a career I wanted. And I had a couple things in line that were going to push me into a direction I wanted. Because for a long time, I've sort of, done stuff I didn't really want to do, or, sort of been sort of on the fence about stuff, or, I thought I sort of seen my career veering in a way I didn't want it to go. And I sort of saw it kind of going in the way I needed it to go to get to where I want to be. And to have that taken away, despite the second lockdown, I just didn't really give a fuck anymore. But it kind of made me a lot more zen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made me a lot more zen about things. It made me a lot more realizing how fickle things are and what is always present in life that I have. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Or which
100%.
is present, what's present now, and all those other things are the stuff that can come and go, and you have to kind of let go of it and just accept that that's what it is. And so I think that made lockdown a lot more easier. And so when I think about Chicago, when I go, fuck, like it took me a long time to build that where I could go to Chicago and sell a show.
Yeah.
And that's like my dream. Like that, my dream was, my thing is I want to tour, I want to do stand up.
Yeah.
And to be able to go do it in America, like as a, someone from England, that was like a big deal for me, Like some of my highlights of my career was like, the first time walking on stage to a sold out show in New York City. Like that for me was a career highlight. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like,
yeah.
And to have that taken away, and even just the uncertainty of like, can I get it back? Because in 2 years things change. Would I still have the audience there? Would I, all those things sort of play on your mind, and you kind of have to accept that if it does go, it's gone, and I work towards it. And if it doesn't happen again, at least I had it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of that. Yeah, go on.
I can't stop thinking about like, what if this would have happened before social media in our careers?
Mm-hmm.
Because there'd be no way to capture a crowd back.
Yeah.
Because you're able to use your social media as a placeholder.
Yeah.
And you're able to put the stuff out. But like, it's so weird because you want to talk to like older comics or whatever. Like I always like talking to older everybody. Yeah. But there's nothing in the books about this and how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unprecedented times, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. I'm kind of veering more towards. I'm off the kind of depressed side of it and more in the exciting part of it.
Say again. So my phone's dying, so I'm gonna put it on charge.
No, you're good. No, it's just weird having like a whole week. I know myself before I like got motivated of just sitting around and being like kind of like, oh, I'll go do some underground spots here. And then I'm having like an ethical dilemma with that because I'm a head case in that aspect. Like I don't want anyone to come out and get sick. And with New York shows, it's not like people are coming out to see particular comics. People are just looking for something to do right now. Have you had experience performing like during, not lockdown, but in between? You did Top Secret again, didn't you?
I was doing shows. I was doing shows. I stayed in London. I didn't go out of town and do shows. Did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, it was sort of like the government sort of set guidelines.
Yeah.
For health and safety, and any moral thing I had, it was like, at some point I have to go work, and it's like, that this is my job. This is how I pay my bills.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't. If they're allowing us to work, I can't go. Nah. I have to. It's like. And I think nightlife and entertainment is sort of seen as just a luxury item for consumers, that they don't realize that that's actually an industry.
Definitely.
That still needs to exist.
Yeah.
And for us to just, feed ourselves. So I did shows, and I tried not to have too much moral anguish over it, because it's my fucking job. But yeah, I did some shows. Yeah. Sorry, that was a long way of saying I did some shows.
Are you getting?
I went around the whole houses with that one. Sorry about that.
Are the people in Britain? Are they getting stimulus?
We are getting every couple months. I think okay. So if you have a job, so if you have a 9 to 5 and you can't go work, the government are giving you 80% of your check.
Okay.
Per month all the time.
What about for people like us?
Well, I get what they do is they look at my net median or something. Like they look at what I earn through tax returns, and then they give me a percentage based on that. So I got 2 checks this year. So I got paid twice this year, and I think I'm entitled to another one early next year. So it's like I think it's something like 80% of what it said I earned on my tax return or some shit like that.
All right. Are you jealous that we're getting 600 again?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I think that, it's a bit too much money.
Yeah. Honestly.
And, I think it just shows how generous America can be sometimes, the fact that you get, I was thinking about this the other day, even if you live in, no offense to Oklahoma, but if you live in middle of fucking nowhere, I'm talking about, forget New York City and LA, but we're big city people, so we can get kind of, we can get bubbled and go, well, my rent's $3,000, that's not normal. But say even if you live in fucking, you live in, fucking Apple, green apple, fucking Kentucky, right? $600 isn't fucking paying your month's rent.
No, it's not.
That's not like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you live in a shit town, 600 doesn't even pay your rent. Like that's not a month's rent in a shit town. So how the fuck are they expecting people in sort of, anywhere to survive on that? Like it's such a mad no. I mean, the 1,200 even was such a mad notion, because it should be based on, wage at least. Like, there should be some stimulus in wage, and it's like you're not a third world country, you're a first world country, and
it's really weird because I have to keep reminding some mutual friends that we know that live in New York that are comedians, and they're like, I'm fucking dying out here. I'm like, dude, you have acting classes twice a week and you have a speech therapist.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking? I keep thinking about like single mothers where I'm from. I don't know why there's not one in particular, but just like, we had unemployment too, which is, dude, like, okay, so in Michigan where I'm from, a lady just got arrested because she was posting on Instagram like presents for her boyfriend. She had like 35 followers, which if that's not a crime alone, I don't know what it is. She had a new Range Rover with a bow on it, and it turns out her best friend ran the Michigan Unemployment Office, and she'd gotten like over $3 million through fraud.
What? It's sort of like it's like the scene in Goodfellas when Robert De Niro started killing everyone because they started spending the money they got from
for sure.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Because you got to keep it fucking quiet. Why if I stole 3 million, I would live poor.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you then go buy a Range Rover? Like, it's just, you're so dumb at that point, man. And dude, you can't be, to come up with a plan to get 3 million from unemployment. It's fucking mad.
And not to mention, like, it's like that. It's like the movie Office Space when they fuck up the decimal point. They think they're gonna get like fractions of pennies, but it's like tens of dollars, and they have like hundreds of thousands of dollars in over a weekend. Like, if you could have just chilled on that, you could have milked it forever. But here's the difference: like, they're basically being like, here's our Range Rover, and it said like, sweetie, there'll be a better present tomorrow, and it's like a photo of a fucking private jet from Getty Images. But that's like new fraud. Old fraud is like Wall Street here, like Kanye and like Soho House getting $1 million from the PPP loans.
Yeah.
It's like, we just don't, people aren't conditioned to know how to scam it. You need to like kind of set your expectations and don't be over the radar. Are you guys getting like, what is it like? Obviously, apparently, our election is not done yet. I don't know if you read Facebook with racist uncles, but apparently it's still in the air.
Do you know what? I mean, my Facebook is quite bubbly in terms of that. It's very much people saying Biden won. Except a couple of right-wing renegades, but I with that whole election situation, all I know is that it all got thrown out at the Supreme Court, right? Like none of the Supreme Courts are
It didn't
taking
even
up.
make, to my understanding, and I think I'm okay at reading, but I just got so lost recently because there's so much to read. I don't think it even made it to a federal appeals court. I think I could be totally wrong on that, but I think at a state level it was shut down across, and I could be 100% wrong on that. But I think like, who was it? Some judge somewhere, I want to Illinois, maybe, I don't know, just basically threw it out and was like, this is ridiculous. And then I also read that they were starting to make lawyers basically be under oath and be like, do you believe in this, like, your client's cause? And since they're under oath, they don't want to perjure themselves and then be disbarred. So then lawyers are basically like, nah, fuck this, like, it's not worth losing my career over. They got to think down the line.
I think it's like, because why I heard, and again, it's news, so I don't take it too seriously. But there would seem to have I heard that there was like some argument in the White House, and even Giuliani was like, "Don't do it. Like this has gone too far or some shit." Like apparently, even Giuliani.
That seems like something Giuliani would leak himself. That dude does not know stop.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, again,
Maybe.
I don't know. But apparently, it's like a bunch of Trump's advisors was like, we can't carry on doing this. But
I know
again,
that the internals, like his GOP people that are still around him, have been saying that. Apparently, they're like, this is because people, they need those careers like long. And now the boogeyman, air quote, is gone.
It was about martial law, and it was like, because the way that they could do a recount is if he imposes martial law and he makes the military do it. And apparently, someone advised it and said, "Hey, maybe we should, think about it." And then apparently, Giuliani was like, "Yeah, my man, forever my man." But yeah, he was like, "No, you can't fucking do martial law. That's fucking mad." Because I think even these politicians, I think, if that is a true story, I think even they realize, like, hey, man, I think people sort of talk about, I think saying a thing and what the reality of that thing is two totally different things.
Totally.
Like to say martial law and then what the reality of a martial law state is fucking horrifying. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
and who's that? Is it Flynn? Who was the general that was speaking? What's up?
Is it the guy who came out of prison?
Yeah, and he was saying that martial law isn't that big of a deal. It's been done 64 times before in this country. It's like, that is not in context. Like,
yeah, it's not just like it's not like, you're doing martial law. Yeah, it's not in context.
They had
a disaster, right? Like Katrina was martial law at some point, right?
Lincoln did martial law.
But that's when you have to do. That's when you have to do this with your gun.
Yeah, that's where they fucking. It's like that. Have you seen Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman?
Is that with the monkeys?
Hell yeah, it's with the monkeys.
Yeah.
That's martial law.
Freeman.
Isn't that weird that movie was like, oh, this is fucking outrageous, and now I could totally understand that happened.
Yeah, at the time that you had to really suspend disbelief.
Yeah, and like that town you're talking about, was it Greenleaf, Kentucky? Could totally.
Yeah, Greenacres, Kentucky.
They're like, oh, here comes the cure, and then the old medicine man comes out of the woods.
You taking the vaccine?
Yeah. I was like, man, I want to read more, but I don't think I'm just gonna do it because dude. Well, they just passed. They didn't pass a law. They're saying now. First off, are you taking it? Yeah.
I mean, most likely, I guess. I mean, I'm very down. I don't have to worry about it for any amount of time because I'm very low on the list. I'm a fucking healthy, man in his 20s. Like, then, they're not coming. They're not going to jab me up anytime soon. But I don't know, man. I think it's sort of like the problem is it's sort of like anything. Is the extreme have made the argument ridiculous. So when you got people saying that, like, they're going to put microchips in you, and it sort of makes the idea of like, hey, maybe you shouldn't just inject yourself with a thing that hasn't been tested for that long. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. When it is, that's a legitimate question to ask. I'm not saying, I won't take the vaccine or, I think the vaccine's evil. But at the same time, I don't think you should just willy-nilly inject yourself with a thing that you don't know about, that haven't researched,
it's kind of like an Apple product they're testing on their consumers. Like,
I don't know. But I mean, the way the situation is, the way it shut down the world, it's probably, it wouldn't surprise me if there will be a situation where I can't travel if I haven't had that vaccine, like you have with China, if you want to go China, you have to take a bunch of, you have to take some shots. If you want to go Africa, you have to take shots. And I think it'll just be like that. And I don't know if I'm willing to, stop my career by not having it.
That's the conclusion I came to. Like those bio passports, like I can't, the world feels so small right now. I like, just like it. And the amount of other things I do to my body on a regular basis is like, I'm going to fucking worry, it's.
I mean, I've eaten arse of a girl on the first date. I think taking I can't be like, but like I put my life at risk.
For sure. It's like, I don't know. I'm like a New York City comedian. Like it's funny to be like, oh, I hope that injection's organic. It's like, really? Yeah. I kind of was on a high horse for about 5 minutes being like, well, I need to read more. And not during this administration and Moderna or Pfizer or who's going to do it. But now I need instant gratification. And if other people get to leave the country and I don't, just for vacation, like I'm going to just take it.
Yeah, and I'm very much pining for the road again.
It's insane. And then also I'm pining to not be closeted about my job. Like there's so many people that are doing like these like low key New York like shows and like super spreading and things like that. It is like on half you're like, damn it, like it sucks. But like,
so are these shows sort of like illegal shows, or are they legal?
There are illegal shows for sure.
There's illegal shows, like not within the totally wrong, like legally, morally, ethically, and send me the D I was after, man. But,
I know, right? I like. It's funny when like certain comics have a few drinks and then everyone starts talking. They're like, "Oh fuck it, I'll do it anywhere." But man, I don't know. I wish. If this were to happen to me in my 20s, I would give a lot less. How
old you now?
38, man.
Are you 38? Okay, yeah, you should be careful, man.
Yeah, I'm geriatric. Yeah, I'm super old.
Yeah,
isn't it weird? I had to Google how old I was the other day. I actually forgot.
You forgot how old you're that age?
Yeah, I Googled my birthday.
For some reason, I kept on thinking I was 27. For a couple of days, I was like, I'm 27. Fuck, I ain't 27 no more.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Oh man, you're gonna spend your 30s in when's your birthday? What month?
My birthday's in April.
April, okay. All right.
So my birthday was in lockdown, and it was the first birthday I had that I wasn't traveling, like I wasn't at work.
Yeah.
I took it off specifically to spend at home, and then lockdown. I remember like I was getting offered work, and I was saying to my agent, I said, listen, I am not working that day. I'm off. I'm taking my birthday. I'm seeing my mum. I ain't do it. And then what happens? Fucking lockdown happens. And it's the fucking another birthday I didn't get to spend with no one. So it was
my last birthday was with you. It was the day before in Chicago.
Oh yeah. What's your birthday, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was the night of that one. And then it was the next day. But I did that show.
You drove down from Detroit.
From Grand Rapids. Yeah, from the other side of the state. So I just happened to be in town. And
I remember.
It was so weird because like comedy wise is always like you have like your life and then you have your comedy life. And I think the more this becomes a full-time thing, those intersect. But like pulling around the corner and seeing you smoking a cigarette on the corner in Chicago was like a full circle moment to me, where it was like, this is great.
Yeah, that's how long ago. I don't smoke cigarettes no more. That's how long ago that was.
Well, you still vape. It's the same shit.
It's not the same shit, Mom.
What are you talking about? Wait. You want to talk about shit you put in your body? What?
It's not the same. This is flavored goodness. Yeah.
Oh.
Cigarettes are bad for you.
Is that Moderna or Pfizer that makes that? Who's on what? So what's the attraction of vaping? Is it purely a nicotine thing?
Yeah.
But you're always on that hog, right? Just constant.
I smoke it quite a lot. Yeah.
And then
you get pods. I go through quite a few pods a day.
Isn't that weird? That's an expense.
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? It's cheaper than smoking, but it's still something I spend. Because on cigarettes, man, cigarettes are £10, so that's what $13 or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're like and that's for a pack. And I smoked a pack a day, maybe a pack and a half a day, and that's £10.
It's like 17 here. I don't smoke, but like that's what.
Yeah, it's about $17. Yeah, I remember when I was. What I'll do is I
Oh
was.
yeah, I do remember. I remember you specifically buying some here and being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what's funny? I went to Harlem. I had to go see someone in Harlem, and I went to the cigarette. I went to the bodega guy.
Yeah, $8 cigarettes.
Yeah, no, no. I asked for some cigarette box, and he pulled out a Lucy, like a single cigarette, and I was like, no, I want to buy a box, and he went, the whole thing. No one buys the whole box. And he went, the whole box. And I went, yeah, I want to buy the whole box, and he sort of just went like, are you sure you want to buy the whole box? And I was like, yeah, yeah.
Did they have those in London? They have unlicensed cigarettes here, where basically you go to deli, and if they think you're cool, you just give them exact amount, $8 cash, and they're Virginia tag cigarettes.
No, here they'll give you. Well, here they do under the counter. You can buy sort of airport cigarettes for cheaper.
Oh yeah, duty free.
Or they're it's a very particular brand. It's called Benson Gold Special Filter, and then they look for boxes, and for whatever reason they're really cheap. And you can buy a box of them if he knows you, or you can buy a Lucy for like, I think it used to be when I was a kid, it used to be like 40p. And now it's probably, I think now it's like fucking 70p, 80p for a single.
Dude, when I first started coming to New York City, I was like 16 for skateboarding. And like there would be these little signs in the deli windows, and it would say, it would be a photo of Marilyn Monroe or Elvis. And then that meant they'd make fake IDs.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it was like a weird code thing. And now it's so interesting because like Lucy's, you still hear about him, you see him. Like my deli guy, like I remember when I first met him in Brooklyn here, where I'm at now in Greenpoint. He had like a group of like winos in there, and like one guy's like, "Man, you owe me 4 cigarettes. I mopped yesterday." And he said, "Man, shut the fuck up. This guy over here will kill someone for a pack of cigarettes." And he's like, "No, I won't." And he walks out, and then this like gnarly dude walks in. He's like, "Yo, I will kill someone for cigarettes." It's like that's the best commerce on earth, man. The Lucy shit.
Hey man, I mean, if the world hits the fan, people are gonna do crazy shit for smokes.
Are you gonna hoard seeds?
I've got seeds.
Yeah. Do you know how to plant them though?
Yeah.
We talk about this about you coming to the mountains.
Yeah.
And being like indoctrinated. Are you ready for it? What's up?
I've got an air rifle.
Have I what?
I've got an air rifle.
Oh, you got air rifle. Oh, have you shot it?
No, I ain't even sure it yet. No. Because my place I'm at now, I've got a garden, in it. I've only got like a fucking smoking area, sort of roof thing. But I might go shoot it there. But
have you shot a real gun before?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. On the TV show you did that, right?
Yeah, I've done TV, but I've done it in like.
Oh.
I go gun ranges when I go to America.
Let's do that next time you're here. Let's go to Michigan.
Bro, I love the gun range. Every time I go to America. Do you know what? It's really quite a relaxing, enjoyable day. Like I generally like. It sounds like kind of who's the guy from Taxi Driver? Is it Travis Bickle?
Yeah.
It sounds kind of Travis Bickley, but like I will go to a gun range if I'm in like Arizona or if I'm in one of them states, I'll try and find a gun range and I'll go there and I'll spend like an hour or two and just shoot some guns. I enjoy it. Like I've always enjoyed it.
I really there's a place in Vegas called Get Some where you can shoot anything, including vehicle mounted turrets.
Sick.
Went there for my friend's 30th. It's incredible, dude.
Yeah,
like you can shoot Tommy guns.
I'm down for it. But yeah, I go shooting. I've shot in like Florida and shit. Like I like shooting shotguns and all of that. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, no, I'm when this clears up, man, I wanna come hiking. That's gonna be my new pastime. Since I quit smoking, and I'm a lot more healthier. I want to take up hiking.
Are you gonna wear Air Maxes into the glaciers?
No, I've got a pair. I'm gonna get a pair of the Nike. There's these Nike ACGs.
Yeah,
hiking boots that I'm gonna grab.
What's that? Is it like all terrain?
Yeah,
gear?
shorts.
ACG. Yeah.
I'm gonna get shorts.
Yeah, you should look like you should do like Crocodile Hunter style.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get the stick. You know that stick?
A walking stick?
Yeah, not like a hiking stick.
A trekking pole?
Yes.
Or do you want a real stick with like a feather and like a white girl?
No, I want a trekking pole.
You want to go full white girl or do you want to go like full tech, somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, but I don't know what either of those references are, so middle.
Oh, you'll see. You'll see right when you start hiking.
We're meant to go Washington, isn't it?
What?
We're meant to go Washington.
Yeah, we need to go. I've been there quite a bit during all this shit, which is weird because it's weird saying a place you travel to and then you feel bad, but that is by far I've been all over during this thing.
You drive? You
When I
drive over there?
Yeah, no, I fly in, I rent a car, and then I just buy groceries once, and then I'll be in the mountains for 2 weeks, and I don't see anybody other than like instructors or like, like I'm going back out in January to Tahoe to get some licensing for like some avalanche stuff, and just learn how to be safer in the mountains. And it's amazing, one, how little I spend, two, how I don't interact with anybody in terms of closeness. Even when you pump gas, dude, like if you're in Oregon, they pump it for you. You don't have to get out of the car. Like all of this stuff is really easy to do. The problem though is like the issue is the air travel, but they're saying there's been no documented cases of like spread going in an airplane environment, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
some.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, again,
But
it's like, it sounds bad to say, but there has to be a point where life moves, and we have
yeah,
to live life. You have to live life. You can't. And I'm not saying to go have a party and go start tongue kissing people, but
I'm saying it.
if you have, yeah, but if you gotta go somewhere, you gotta go. The same way
Yeah.
with work. If I gotta go work, I gotta go work. It's like when it was the in between time between the first and the second lockdown. So around summer, like I got a gig in Rotterdam. Holland was open. We were allowed to travel to Holland. I had to go. I had to go work.
Do you like it up there?
Yeah. I've been Holland, man. I've been Holland like 30 times, man.
Once the world's back open, I want to come with you. I want to check that out. I've only been to Schiphol before. Shows are supposed to be good though. Bet said it's like,
man, Amsterdam's no fucking joke, man. That's a good club, and the Rotterdam club's good. Man, do you know what, man? Like, comedy's blessed me with travel. Like, I've been mad. Like, in terms of like, especially coming from where I come from and just being the person I was, I would never have gone to these countries. I would have gone to Amsterdam, but I've been like Estonia, Latvia, Finland, Romania, Lithuania. I've been all over, man. And that's the one thing I truly do miss is to travel. I still love fucking going to Europe. That's how I came up. I would go Europe because in Europe, their gigs are midweek. So you could go midweek, earn decent money, and then come back on the weekend. And that's how I was paying my bills. I was fucking going every week. I was going Belgium, fucking Holland. I was going Sweden. I was going fucking, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, coming back and forth, France, Austria, Norway, all of that, just going back and forth.
I really like that. Like, I did Poland last February just to go climbing there. And like, dude, that's the first time ever in Eastern Europe. That place goes. It's so good over there.
Yeah, especially comedy-wise, because I think it's like in England and America, we've been spoiled that we've had comedy like on TV or just in our lives. It's cultural now. So we take comedy for granted. You go to certain countries. Like I remember when I first did, this was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago now, but I went to Latvia for the first time. And the comedy club was in this little rock club. Most of the people were standing. And it was like they were so excited because comedy was cool again. It felt comedy was cool. And it was sexy and it was kind of dangerous. And, and I think, a lot of it, I might be wrong, it's probably me overthinking it, but a lot of it might even play into the fact that these are ex-communist countries. Yeah. So they sort of, have a generation that have lived through, you're not allowed to say what you want to say, from the Soviet Union and shit. Definitely. So someone's saying something that they want to say still holds impact. It's still like, fuck, someone's actually saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I've been to China quite a bit, but I've never been to like former Soviet Union spots, in that even like the architecture, that brutalism, those massive monolith structures that like you start reading about them and you're like, oh, it's to make the people feel small and insignificant. Like it's all designed that way. And the crowds, man, they like, what's up?
No, so carry on.
Oh, the crowds, like, it was a different level of, like, it was excitement, and, like, we went out afterwards and went out drinking, and, like, it was just, like, it was fucking February in Krakow, Poland, so it was really cold, but everyone there was, like, fired up, and, like, the comedy's very new there, so they're open mics, too, and so you kind of meet the micers, and then, like, the show night, they've got, like, their, everyone gets to rotate who gets to open, and, like, afterwards, everyone's, like, of all the traveling I've done for comedy, what I really like is that when a scene is just small enough to where everyone's positive and working with each other, they haven't gotten to the cutthroat phase yet. You know, when they
Oh,
start,
yeah. The money hasn't got involved yet.
yeah, like Barcelona's another example of like why I keep going back, which is like before all this happened, you're gonna come down and do some shows.
Yeah.
But like, dude, it's like a young, vibrant scene. Everyone's really, they work together. They push everybody up. But then you get to like some of the other scenes that you visited them in their infancy, and then a year later you come back like, oh yeah, don't. So and so's a fucking cokehead. Like,
Yeah. Don't play that
yeah.
guy's club. He's a cunt.
I'm not gonna-
If you play his club, you can't play my club and all that type of bollocks.
Oh
But,
yeah.
you know, talking about old Soviet structures, I remember I spent a lot of time in Ukraine when I was filming.
Ooh.
And man, they just have these big, hard concrete buildings. And what the weirdest thing is when you go Ukraine is that some people still have old communist jobs.
Okay.
Because in communism, everyone works in it, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of make jobs that aren't really jobs. Like there'll be a guy where his job is to sit at the bottom of the escalator and tell you not to run.
Yeah.
Right. And shit like that. And there was this really weird job this guy had where it was like I'm telling you, it's the middle of fucking nowhere. Like we're like to go anywhere that's a town is fucking hours of driving. And we're driving, and then there's like in the middle of nowhere, there's like right where there's a train track, and then there's the I don't know what they're called, the
crossing.
The crossing.
Yeah.
There was a guy in the booth in the middle of fucking nowhere. And he was in the booth, and like no cars are there, no cars are coming, and like it's like he hasn't seen, and he comes and he opens the thing and lets you cross, and it was like this guy's been working that job for fucking forever.
Yeah, he's the crossing guard guy.
Yeah, he's a crossing, and he's
that's like in the old Vice with Shane Smith, the North Korea documentary where they visit like the tourist thing, and they visit that girl.
Yeah.
She's in a restaurant, and she just basically waits there for 3 times a year, and when they bring like their fake tourism stuff in, it's like, man, we went into some like weird bars in Krakow, just walking around, just kind of getting into mischief, and it was funny. Like, I noticed this. We went out climbing, so went out in the Tetras, which is like south, and then it's right on the Slovakian border. And there was like Russians on the bus that bring you to the trailhead, where then you have to hike 6 miles in, and then you're at a mountain refuge. And it was funny to be American and not. I mean, being American and not like is a phenomenon that isn't exactly new, but particularly like my friend Sean and I were out there climbing, and like, dude, there's like 4 Russian dudes that were in the same refuges, like fucking were making fun of us so hard the entire time. Not in English, but you could just, you can tell you get your balls busted.
Yeah, they know about you.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like, a 6'2" blonde hair white boy, I can take it, and I probably deserve it. So it's kind of interesting to be like the laughing.
And fucking American too.
Yeah, the laughing. Yeah, fucking, it's crazy. But then we were in a bar in Krakow, and we just like went into like a shitty old bar and just to like hang out and have a beer. And it was funny because like it was all kind of light and cheery, and then like you could tell, when someone's talking shit in our language about you, but they're doing it in like a lifting voice, so they act like it's not going on. Yeah, so it's like it's just interesting to be like, that's not Public Enemy, but it's definitely left over. It's always the generation that's like from the Cold War. Like they just remember like how fucking fucked up it was. It's very weird.
Remember your GIs and shit.
Yeah, and they also remember like Perestroika when they lost everything. Like when everything kind of came down. It's pretty wild. Oh, I listened to Ed Crud. Tell me about Podcast with Ed.
What about? But we do you know what that podcast? Is
I like it. First off, it's called In Crud We Trust. It's with you and Ed Knight.
Yeah, it's me and Ed Knight, and we hardly ever fucking do it, man. We're just like, me and Ed are just fucking like together, like by ourselves. We're kind of flaky, but when we link up, it's impossible. And it's weird because people like it. It's like people do enjoy it. It's just me and this guy called Ed. And how we started the podcast is that I'm a bit older than Ed, and I think he's a bit of a cuck, and he thinks I'm a bit of a dinosaur. Yeah. And so it's basically us, but we both have a mentality of that. We're both degenerates. Yeah. But we're both trying to not be scumbags. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're not trying to be evil, but we're degenerates. And it's that kind of thing of like, we sort of disagree on his sort of, hard sort of social liberalism. And he thinks I'm a bit of a, not conservative, but you know, bit of a juxtaposed to that. So yeah, so we do that. But I've actually got another podcast coming out soon. I just need to fucking try and get the dates right. I'm gonna be doing one with my friend who's currently in prison, and we're gonna try and record a podcast together through him when he's on the phone time.
Damn, that's like, so you just have the recorded sound through the phone?
Yeah. We're gonna record it. Yeah, we're gonna record it. And it's basically him, and we're gonna try and do a podcast. And he should be being released soon. So you know, if we can't do it like that, we'll just wait till he gets out, and I'm gonna do a podcast with him as well. And
Why do your guys' prisons sound so nice there? I know they're not, but like they're all called like Her Majesty's.
Yeah. Because when you're in prison, you're under Her Majesty's pleasure.
Really?
Yeah. So you're in prison at Her Majesty's pleasure. So until, you know, because you can get pardoned by the Queen and shit. Like, I don't think it ever happens, but you can.
Yeah. I watched The Crown.
Yeah. So it's like Her Majesty's pleasure. But yeah, I mean, it's just because American prisons are so, you know, in movies and fucking, you know, and they're so spoken about, and a lot of times some of the fucking worst, like violent wise.
Yeah,
that kind of, they just overshadow everyone else's prisons. Like, other countries' prisons are bad. It's just that yours are fucking terrifying.
And they're not like and the terrifying is the norm. Like
yeah.
It's not like that, you know, like in Bolivia, there'll be one on TV like, oh, well, the one prisoner that's the leader gets a gun to keep the whole wing in check. That's an exception.
Yeah.
Ours are like, you know, we just had that I think it was in Mississippi, somewhere down south, where basically the not the warden, but the warden's boss was in charge of all the finances for all of the prisons in that area, and any money he saved on food for the inmates, he kept as a bonus. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't hear about that one. What I did hear about though is that's not the judge. That's not the jail, the Arizona sheriff.
No, that's Sheriff Joe. That guy is a fucking
who's famous for cutting corners. But
and he's so closeted gay. Can we just talk about that?
I never know about.
Dude, he's making everyone wear pink underwear, and he thinks it's hilarious. Like, pink is a great color. This dude is like an antiquated, closeted Republican.
Yeah. I remember, like, he was like, they want an exercise machine, they want electricity, so you have to cycle.
Yeah. And then they put him in tent cities, and it's like, dude,
he's a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, well, that's just what shows you, particularly in this country, that if you're like closeted and gay, and like you're from a very place that isn't accepting, you go so hard against who you actually are inside. Like our Republican senator that got caught trying to suck dick in the men's bathroom in Minneapolis airport, Larry Scott. No. Larry, I almost said Larry David. It's not. It's a senator from Minneapolis. Did you hear this story?
No.
He was trying to do the apparently in the gay community, there's like foot signals when you're in a public restroom to let the guy next to you know that they're gay. Well, there was an undercover cop in the Minneapolis airport bathroom stall next to him, and the dude was trying to do like foot pedal, gas pedal, trying to get his dick sucked, and then he got arrested. And this guy is like hardcore anti-gay. So Sheriff Joe is so gay.
Did you hear about those? Did you hear about the Hungarian guy who's like a minister for this far right wing Hungarian politician, and he's like hardcore anti-gay, and he got caught in a gay orgy in Brussels. Dude. This happened a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he got caught in a gay orgy in Brussels and tried to jump out the window.
That's how it always goes. I feel so bad for him though. Like, it's like but it's a classic movie villain shit where you're like. You're all this pent up who you really are, and so not only do you you don't get to be who you are, but then you go toxic, and then you get mean, and then you take it out on the people.
I mean, a lot of times it's because you hate it about yourself.
Yeah,
you hate it in other people because you know there's only so much you can hate yourself, so you express it by hating the thing when it's not the thing that's the issue. It's how you're dealing with it. You know.
It's also not like, it's not just hating though. You're running for office and then you're legislating against that thing. It's the most bitch ass shit I've ever heard of in my entire life.
I mean, that's what happens though, man. And it's like, and it's not even that, it's like just an internal feeling. He's acting out on it. Not that there's nothing wrong with him acting out on it, but he's acting out on it because he knows that's what he is. It's not like he has this thing in the back of his mind and he suppresses it. He's doing it. He's doing the thing, but he has to be so anti it because he every time he does it, he feels awful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude.
and it's with that thing of it, it's sending fucking crazy. And I feel sorry for them, even though that they're sort of the way they express it is highly negative by,
That's how, like, man, it's already tough enough to be gay anywhere in the world. That's like, and then you got these assholes around, and like, it never fails. And this even goes to like other positions in the world, like, what's the word for it? Like environmental things, like the anti-tax fraud politician is always the one cheating on his taxes. Like, it just never fucking fails.
It's with the irony of it, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but it's also like I'm like, there was a club owner here that was like hardcore supporting the Me Too, just couldn't stop yelling about it online and everything. Come to find out, he he had assaulted a female here, like a comic.
Was it at that alternative club?
Yeah.
UCB or something?
What's up?
Is that the UCB one?
No. Oh no, that was that was a comic that was with UCB that got nailed.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a fucking monster. Yeah, for sure.
Seen it on Facebook and shit, so I don't know the full story. So I probably
this was actually a comedy club.
I'm probably should be shouting comedy clubs names, but I don't know the full story. I heard some. I'm just gonna say it like it. So my bad. I don't mean to send for them.
No, it's but no, I mean it's confusing because coming out though. But they this one guy I'm particularly talking about, he and then after he got accused, he put out his own letter on Medium saying that actually he was the one taken advantage of, and is like, what the fuck? And I remember I told this dude like I had some friends in town from Chicago, and they're like, oh, we're gonna go see a comedy show, and I think I was out of town, so I was like, oh, go here. So my friends are on the show, and they went in there, and it's like right when you walk in, there's like these massive signs that say like I can't breathe, and very like in your face, like pro activism, which is awesome. And then they went to buy tickets, and then they dress well, and the guy was like giving them shit and was like, it's alternative comedy, and they're like, I mean, I just want to see a comedy show. Then
they're black.
Like a week later, this shit happens, and you're like, dude,
because they were black.
What's that?
Were they black?
No, they were white, but the guy that owned it was just like basically being like, oh, you guys are fucking yuppies. You
because they're yuppies. Okay, I didn't know,
sorry,
I didn't know what the why they were sort of somewhat discriminated. I didn't get what the.
I think it's because I would guess they appeared to be squares.
Oh, okay.
And they're just like nice people with jobs that want to go watch comedy, which is who pays our bills. So
I think as well as there's that weird thing with comedy where people get kind of real, and I've done it at times where you get kind of people get a little bit judgmental about, because they kind of in their head they think what the audience should be like. Yeah, this is an alternative show. We have just cool people who wear fucking weird hats, where it's like. Yeah. You can be a square or have a square job and also like weird comedy. It's not one and two the same thing. Just what I'm saying, though, you don't have to be a graphic designer to enjoy fucking, alternative comody.
Not everybody can be a Pilates instructor. Some people have to have like real jobs.
Someone has to work in the bank. They have to.
As a comic being like, someone has to have a real job.
Yeah, exactly.
Has comedy made you unemployable?
Yeah. Oh, mate. I was pretty unemployable before, to be honest with you. Like, I've always been pretty unemployable. I've only had like 2 jobs, and both really bummy jobs. And I got, I sort of jumped before I got fired. But I remember being like 17, 18. I couldn't get a job at Toys R Us. Like, I could never get. I got no qualifications. I got no real work experience. So comedy has made me more unemployable than I really was, and I was pretty fucking unemployable before.
I tried to get a job during all this at Walmart.
No way. What they say?
I was curious. I saw a commercial. I saw a commercial, and it was like, do you remember like post 9/11? I don't know if they ever aired over there, but we had these Budweiser commercials where like the troops are walking through the airport and people are just clapping. Do you ever see those?
No.
Anyways. Very motivating shit, and they're talking about like essential workers. We need people to stock shelves. I'm like, I'm not doing shit, right? Like, I want to go, like, I want to make a difference, right? I saw the Walmart thing. I called up, and then I submitted a resume. That's fucking sad. Like, I went to school and stuff, but I Googled online that you should leave all that shit off. because they don't want people that will like challenge challenge authority. So like you should never say you've been at any education whatsoever, higher education.
Wow.
I didn't even go to a good school.
Is it
But
because you're seen as overqualified or something?
yeah, they don't want. Again, this is what I read on Google, so this isn't like
Yeah, it is in fact. Yeah.
written in stone. So I called up, I submitted my resume, and then I called the number. Was it? Yeah, you call the number, and then they'll get back to you. And then they called at 7 a.m, and I didn't pick up. And then when I called back, he said, "You didn't pick up at 7. That's not Walmart material."
Wow.
And I could,
Fucking hilarious.
and I couldn't get fucking hired at Walmart, dude. I was like
you're supposed to just be up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
if you don't have a job, just to be up. Yeah, fuck. And Walmart, and it's just like, man, like it's such a fucking, it's so, that comes from such a position of, well, that's not Walmart material. Like he owns Walmart.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't make me the boss, because I'll just hire motherfuckers who I just want to hang out with. Like, because it's not my money. Who gives a fuck about the business? That's why I couldn't work in a job like that. Because I'm like, it's not my money. It's just, as long as, you just try and not burn the fucking place down.
When I lived in Cincinnati, there was a guy that got robbed at it's not funny, but at a gas station. And he basically he got robbed at like this shitty gas station in Cincinnati. And then the robber left. And the guy walked outside, the gas station attendant, and he goes, "You come back here, I'll fucking kill you." The dude that robbed him turned around and then stabbed him 70 some times.
What the fuck?
When I walked out in the morning, there was blood still. They were like hosing it off.
Yeah, that's fucking mad.
All for this dude. It wasn't his money. Like,
that's excessive. Stabbing someone's, yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't
what
know,
are
man.
you doing?
It's sort of like, when people work in a bank and they're like, you see in the movies all the time, when they work in the bank and that, and they're like, "Where's the safe?" "What safe?" "Man, I'll be telling you where the fuck that safe is quick, bro. I'll be giving you." I said, "Bro, let me help you carry the bags, innit?"
Yeah, I would fucking, or like when they're laying on their stomach and they like walk their fingers across the floor to hit the secret alarm.
Yeah, nah, not me, bro. I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. That's your money, bro. Fuck that. I ain't dying for your shit, but
anyone, and it's like now I guess they just passed legislation here where they don't have to pay sick pay now for COVID. It's like, isn't it weird that like you have to live to work here?
I think it's because as well is that they're just, man, I don't know. You ever hear something so mad, you're trying to intellectualize and justify it or find some reasoning to it. But it's just like what the, like, if you're sick, you cannot work. It's an illness. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. So why are you not getting sick pay if you are sick? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. We went through when my dad got hurt. My dad's a veteran, and I was the VA trying to get like funding for him. So I met a lot of other veterans because a lot of the VA staff, which were very nice and helpful there, are obviously veterans. And then meeting people in the waiting room and hearing their stories, you're like there was like a widow. Her husband had just passed, and then the check just stopped coming. She's like in her 70s. She had this stuff forever, the money. And like, you're just like, dude, what? There's no common sense to decency. But it's weird because now I noticed a lot, particularly on the racist side of my Facebook feed. It's like this, they compare us to like third world countries. Like, oh, it could be way worse right now than India. Or like, crazy nations that like have no infrastructure at all. But why are we always first when it comes to competitions, but then we compare ourselves to the very worst in terms of structure and government?
Yeah, that's it, man. It's like, especially like, England and America, where we want to be the number ones of the world, and we want to hold ourselves. We got to hold ourselves to a standard that we don't hold up. That we're not achieving. Wow. You got to be, if you want to be if you want to be the country that everyone looks up to, then you got to actually do stuff that people can look up to, or do stuff that, I don't know, man. It's all fucking so depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a funny angle, but I fucking can't even find it, man.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's just a weird one. Do
It's
you have
just all
moments though?
fucking
Like right now, I have moments where I'll be like, oh, doing good, staying motivated, like doing this shit, and then all of a sudden you just kind of catch yourself looking out of a window.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think I can live with comedy clubs being closed but other stuff open because you can keep your mind occupied. But it's just, like everything's fucking shut. Like you
Yeah.
can do nothing but stay in your fucking house.
Dude,
Do you know what I'm saying?
10 p.m. everything closes in New York City. Like,
Even bodegas.
nah, they're open 24 hours. They ain't closing those motherfuckers for anything. Hell
So
no.
what stays open?
So fuck, I think just delis.
And they're allowed to stay open?
Yeah. I don't know why, but they are. I don't know enough about the actual rules.
Because you can't tell Poppy to shop, man.
No, hell no. You're gonna fucking.
You can't
cut
tell
you.
Poppy shopping, bro. He ain't closing, bro.
Dude, I will get like chopped cheese at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I had like really bad insomnia like a month ago, and that was like so nice to be able to like, I guess I'll go
You got
talk
that
to
chopped
somebody.
cheese, yeah? We know about the chopped cheese, bro.
Chopped
We
cheese.
know about chopped cheese, bro.
What you know about it, Harlem?
I
You know
know
about
about the
Lucy's.
chop. Don't worry about the chopped cheese. I know about it, bro.
Oh, it's the best. Have you been to the original Haji's?
Nah. In Harlem.
Yeah, it's like 102nd and first or second. I can't remember.
I've never been. I ain't been.
Oh,
I ain't,
it's so good. Why is your
Yeah.
guys' food so shitty over there?
it ain't shitty. Fuck off. England food. This is the thing, yeah. Is you're talking about fucking Blackpool and all these little towns. London's food's good.
But kebabs are good. That's like those
Okay,
are good.
so in London we got Jamaican food. You like
Yeah.
Jamaican food?
I haven't had Jamaican food there. I've had Jamaican food, but not there.
Yeah, well, we got Jamaican food here. Yeah, we got
But it's
good
still
Jamaican.
not like British food.
Oh, British food.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man. British food is kind of like, for me, like I grew up eating British food with sort of Jamaican seasoning, though.
Yeah.
So
What
my
up-
mum would make chicken pie, but she would season the chicken, and then I'd have spaghetti bolognese, but it'll be seasoned, or I'd have, you know what I mean? Like, so I've always eaten English food with seasoning. I've never just ate English food. But then it's kind of like, like roast dinner. It's just, I think it's just more comfort at this point. Like, I don't think.
Roast is good. The Sunday roasts are really good.
Yeah, I never grew up really eating, but the food can be shitty. It depends where you go. But
You know what's fire? It's fucking Nando's.
see, Nando's that's like one of the better fast food places is Nando's. But
Your fast food is better than ours too. I think it's quality. or
no,
something.
Americans fast food
Yeah.
beats everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dude, the
100%.
KFC right in your top secret is like, we fucking have rats in ours. It's so gross.
Yeah, we got rats in ours too. The best. You eat that KFC there, bro? I wouldn't eat there. That shit's fucked up. The best. The
good.
best. One thing I will say about New York is you need to stop with that pizza shit. Overrated pizza.
Oh,
Yeah.
overrated. Like the shit.
Overrated.
Well, there's
The-
like shitty. There's
The
shitty
best
everywhere.
pizza is Pizza Hut, and like there ain't better pizza than Pizza Hut, bro. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I would take
fucking-
Pizza Hut over any slice in the world, fam.
Dude,
I'll
it's
tell you
like your taste buds came straight out of a strip mall. That's so.
Deep dish Pizza Hut and Panda Express, best Chinese. I'm joking, but Pizza Hut pizza is the baddest pizza that you can't tell me nothing different. bro.
Oh
I
god.
think New York slice, is so dead. Yeah, it's so dead.
I can't
Yeah.
believe that. Of all the culture in your mind and this the high-minded political views and just Pizza Hut, that's the hill you're gonna die on.
Pizza
Have you
Hut
had?
is legit the deep dish. I'm talking about the deep pan.
I know what
Yeah.
deep dish is. I'm just beside
Deep
myself
dish
with that.
Pizza Hut,
All
10-10.
right. That's so
Be-
gross. It's like they basically.
I hate New
Have,
York pizza.
have you ever been to Olive Garden?
No, I haven't been to Olive Garden.
If we're talking about pieces of shit restaurant that tastes really good, it's one in Times Square we're gonna hit up.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to try dinosaur barbecues.
Oh, it's garbage. In Harlem?
Yeah, I want to go there. I like what my favorite fast food in America. I love Chick-fil-A, man.
Yeah, you the anti-gay
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A?
Oh, mate, I eat that shit and I start voting against LGBT. I tell you, that shit with that Chick-fil-A sauce, man.
It's
shit,
really good.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
I was in LA and I had to get I was driving a rental car back like in July and I had to stop in like the Mojave Desert and there was just a Chick-fil-A, like a desert oasis. And I was like,
Yeah,
man, I want to eat
Chick-fil-A.
before I get to the airport. And
Wells. I'm not a big fan of all that in and out and all of that shit.
yeah, it's okay. It's like it's
I'll
okay.
eat it when I'm in LA because I don't really go LA that much. But yeah, no, the fast food's better in America. I say diner food. The one thing about American food though is just choice. Like,
Yeah.
so if you go into a diner, you can have your eggs. Like in England, we don't have sunny side up,
No, you don't.
over
Yeah, and you
easy.
have orange ass eggs. But I think
Yeah.
like levels wise, yours is actually healthier than ours because you have
Yeah, I think
stricter.
it's like steroids and chemically enhanced. But like,
Yeah.
we don't have like, So say if you go into a restaurant, say if you go to we call them cafes, but yours would be a diner.
Yeah.
Our menu isn't 20 pages. Like your shit, like you go to a Waffle House and you can have
It's the best.
absolute, but you can have like your
Yeah.
Denny's or IHOP, whatever, and you can have mad different shit. But our one is just like you get fried egg, you can have scrambled egg, you can have poached egg, and there's no other options. It's not, and then that however that egg comes is how that egg comes. There's no over easy, hard. No, it's just
It
fried
looked to
egg.
me pretty crazy when I asked in London. I was in Edinburgh for the first time I was at Fringe, and I went like after a week of just eating like fucking that pizza place that Phil Ellis always made me go to.
Oh, yeah.
That one,
That place,
like a brick. I was like, I just want vegetables, so I went to this like it looked like a hippie spot, and I went in there and I was like, can I just, I'll pay. Can I just get a salad with like nothing on it, just like some vegetables? She's like, oh yeah, no problem. And then she's like, what do you want for dressing? And I was like, oh, vinegar and oil will be great. And so she brought out vinegar, and then she's like, oh, can I put some oil on there? And then she just poured, and I'm looking, I'm like, what is that? It was drawn butter.
Yeah.
She just covered the lettuce in butter, and I was out like,
fuck yeah, man. That's like no, but yeah, that's Scotland. Scotland's a bit different. Scotland, they like sort of deep fry and stuff. But London, you can get some good stuff in London. Like London, Manchester, Bristol, you'll get good food in it. But it's when you go small town, it's like the most decent food is Indian food.
yeah, the kebab there is straight fire.
Or
Fucking
kebab. That's Turkish and that's decent. You can get like some kebab and that. But
the first time I went to London was it was 3 days after Trump was elected. I was with Tamer.
Okay, yeah.
And we were
You
walking.
used to come out with Tamer, innit? How is Tamer?
Dude, I haven't talked to him much, but he seems to be good. He lived in Barcelona from what I see. Like
He lives in Barcelona.
yeah, he moved there. He got married and moved there. Yeah.
Oh, fucking
Yeah, I
hell.
haven't talked to him much. I need
Okay,
to.
I remember I met you at Comedy Caf.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Bro,
were like,
that was years ago now.
oh, dude, that was Trump's presidency. It was 3 days after Trump got elected.
Fuck yeah, that must be 4 years then. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was. I remember going there, but we were walking down the street like, what's that White Church? What's the But where Tamara and I our Airbnb was in Shoreditch. Doesn't matter. But we were walking in Whitechapel, and we were walking, and I was like, man, like I've been around, like I know a lot of cities. I'm like London. It feels very stabby, right? Like there's just this stabby vibe. And Tamara's like, no, that's just like an old stereotype. It's not bad. We seriously turn around, and these 3 lads or whatever were fucking with a homeless Turkish dude, and the Turkish dude broke a bottle on a guy's fucking head, and then went after the other 2 like right in front of us. And it was like,
Yeah, I mean, London is a real. I mean, the thing is like a lot of it's become real gentrified.
yeah.
But there's stuff still happens, man. It's it's got its rough areas and rough. But it's like any fucking big city. I mean, you go certain parts. If you go fucking Brownsville at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to buy Coke, you might have an issue.
Yeah, I had a. It's weird. Going there in a skateboarding capacity, go skate in Brownsville, no problem. Like rolling friends and
But it's like any
skaters.
For problems, you're gonna get it. But if you mind your fucking business,
dude, no. But this shows like so we're skating like no one gives a fuck about skaters because we never call the cops and we're just very do our own shit. But I rode my bike out to the beach and I just took a lap through Brownsville and I was like, this feels kind of weird, and all of a sudden you hear like behind me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting bottles thrown at me. Sick. Yeah. Like
I had to go Brownsville to pay a ticket. I got a ticket in New York, man.
You had to go to Brownsville court? Oh
yeah.
Okay.
I had to go Brownsville court, man, and the guy fucking was trying to get me to go see the judge because he was like, you can get this ticket thrown out, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna pay the $25. He's like, nah, listen, go court. And I was like, bro, I'm not fucking going to court, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Because I go court and something happens and I end up in fucking Rikers.
Yeah, you end up in, they call it booking. So you'll end up in booking for the weekend. There's like so many good stories.
Yeah, for fucking, so I have to fucking, but if I lived in America, I wouldn't mind as much, but I've got a visa, innit? and they're
Yeah.
just anything. They just fucking. I remember I dated this girl in America, and we went to a Walmart, and she started like shoplifting. And I'm trying to say to her, like, if they arrest me for you, I get kicked out the country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's like, yeah. She was like, you're a square. And I'm like, I'm not a square. I don't mind you stealing, but I am going to get arrested. If I get arrested with you, then I get kicked out. You get bowed out by your dad, and I've got to leave the country.
Dude, how hot was it though when she started shoplifting?
Huh?
Were you like really, really turned on by her when she was shoplifting?
It was something sexy about it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, don't pay for nothing. Yeah, you steal that Arizona fucking, what's that Arizona sun?
99-cent Arizona iced tea.
Yeah. She stealing Arizona iced teas and that, bro.
Dude, who was someone just told me that they were my friends were just on a skate trip. This is pre-COVID, not just fucking 9 months ago. But they were in Colombia of all places in Medellin, and the dude they were with started shoplifting. And they have money, right? And it's like a fucking candy bar, so it's like, it's nothing. And the owner just locked the door and pulled a gun out and was like, everyone empty your pockets. So because this dude lifted fucking candy bars, they all lost everything they had money-wise.
All that, man. It's just like, bruv, it's when you're traveling, man, you just can't be dealing with that hassle, man.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
You're not from there, you get kicked out, it's like I got some boys where they'll go to certain countries and buy weed. And it's like, if you buy weed in that country, you get 10 years in prison. And it's like, bruv, allow it, man. Just fucking follow the rules and fucking chill in it. I'm not saying, obviously, have fun and all that. But like, fuck, man. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Dude, that girl that she was flying in Indonesia with a surfboard bag and they found like a kilo of coke in a Muslim country. And it was like, whatever, that basically someone tried to smuggle and they used her as like the straw man. It's like, that stuff scares the shit out of me. Or all the Dubai stories about like weed in your pocket.
Yeah, it nearly happened to me, man. I had some weed on me.
In Dubai?
Yeah, bro. I went to Amsterdam and I bought some hash. And I didn't even smoke it. I had it in my like second pocket. And I must have put the jeans in the wash, whatever, boom, 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 packing my bags, checking my pockets just in case I got anything in my pockets. And I fucking found a lump of hash and I was going to Dubai. And then when I got to Dubai, they flipped out my bag anyway. And I was like, bruv, I actually had this on me.
Oh, man.
Bam. I wouldn't have,
This girl, I used to work with a girl that was like this like textbook Florida collegiate, like blonde hair, super outgoing, worked in real estate. And she took a job there. And when she first moved there, it's very weird. Like when you work in Dubai, they take your passport and shit. Like the people that you work for, you can't. And she basically like, so first thing that happened was like there's desalination plants there. So basically like, there's no fresh water around. So they take salt water and they turn it into drinkable fresh water, potable water. So like, let's say like the EPA in America or in Britain, like the people that are like, okay, let's do a 1 part chlorine is the chemical they use to make the saltwater fresh water, for instance. Let's just use like 1 part per 10 parts water, no more than that, right? But like in the Middle East, they're thinking like, oh, well, let's just add more chlorine. Like we'll get more fresh water. So it's fine for them because they're used to it. But for like Westerners, our hair really falls out. So like this, outgoing blonde that I knew, a friend of mine, her hair started falling out. She getting really depressed, and she worked in sales, so she was always like, eyeline all the time. That was like her job, to be a face of a company. So she got really depressed, and then her company flew her friends over to cheer her up. And when they came through borders, they all got like full cavity searched. And so basically, and then they had their passports. So they basically had to sit there for like 4 days while they'd all been violated before they could fly back out. Just like horror stories of when shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
Push this to a depressing route. All right. What I want to talk to you. So you've done the TV experience in the past with your own shows. What do you want to do for the future? We had talked about this before.
Oh, okay.
Like in terms of like we had talked to like documentarian. I know you had worked in that and want to make your own documentaries. What do you want?
Yeah, I think that's done. I think that's over. I think the documentary thing's done for me. I think I tried to do something and it didn't work out. And there's only so much energy you can put into something.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen for me in terms of what I wanted to get out of it. And I don't even just mean career. I just mean like what I wanted to create. I couldn't create for certain reasons. So I kind of left that. But in terms of what I want to do next, I kind of, you know what, man, like I'm making something right now, like some scripted stuff. So I'm trying to move into more that direction of sort of scripted and sitcom-y and shit like that. But I mean, I know it's weird to say in these times, but it's just trying to get back to the stand-up, man. And you know, I definitely want to go back on tour again. I definitely want to hit America and travel again. I think I need to do one big tour just to get some perspective, comical perspective again.
Yeah.
You know, I need to like try and, because I think this year kind of took out, I've sort of become a bit too narrow with my comedy because of just the situation that's happened of COVID. So I need to like see the world again to try and put me back in line with what, you know, comically of what I want to do, you know.
Did you suck when you did your first shows back from COVID?
Yeah, I was pretty shit.
Yeah.
I was pretty shit. I think I had a couple ups, but I was pretty shit the whole time in this sort of like that couple months that we could do comedy.
Yeah.
I've been pretty shit. Like I haven't been good.
I went to like the first show back, I like went to reach for something because I was like doing new shit and not doing well. So like the ego rears up and then like I got to do some killer shit. And I reached back for it and it wasn't there.
Yeah, I did some old stuff and
like
the old stuff felt so fucking old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it felt so not you anymore. And I just kind of died a bit. But yeah, so I need to just, I think touring and the script shit is what I want to focus in more. And it's just kind of, you know, doing what I really only want to do as opposed to doing what I think I should be doing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think recently I've been doing a lot of stuff that I think I should be doing for career-wise or for this or for that. And I kind of just want to get back to just doing what I want to do and, you know, and just, you know, not worrying so much about the money or the business and just actually putting something that I actually put myself into and really enjoy doing again. You know what I mean?
In terms of like a body of work, you want to make something?
Yeah. I mean, like even if it's like touring or if it's like, you know, doing a sitcom thing.
Yeah.
Well, I've got something in development right now that I should be shooting soon. That I'm putting up the money for, and that's kind of a thing I'm doing right now as well. Is I'm putting up my own money for a lot more stuff, and I'm sort of doing it on my terms more, and sort of having the risk of putting up my own money and not having that stability of financial backing from channels and stuff, but having creative control over it. You know what I'm saying?
It's liberating, yeah, when you put your own money in it, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm still doing that more, and I think that's my plan for the future is to kind of create my own stuff, and I'm gonna, and hopefully next year, by the sort of maybe just middle of tour, like or towards the end of tour, or if I get an hour together, I'm gonna put out like a 35-40 minute special online.
Where are you gonna film it at? You got an idea yet? You don't tell me where, but do you already have this spot in mind?
Nah, do you know what? I had a couple of ideas, but I'm still thinking about where to put it up. I kind of want to see what because I've got like a half an hour now, which I think I'm happy with, like 15 of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to work out the other 15, see what the show is, and then kind of match that to venue. But there's a couple little venues I'm thinking of in London, you know. There's a couple little ones. I would like to do it overseas, but it's just in terms of like camera and stuff like that. Like I know more camera people here and that. But like I want to shoot it nice, edit it nice, and have it, you know.
Isn't it weird? Like when Gerard Carmichael directed that Drew Michael special with no crowd. Did you ever watch that?
No, yeah, I saw that on the HBO.
But people are like, yeah, it's fucking. I mean, even like Rogan, I was watching the other day. Rogan's like, that's weird. No crowd. Like that's and Gerard's like, we have to challenge the form. Like comedy is the least progressive form of art there is, like least appreciated in terms of money wise, and definitely the most like the least progressive. But now it's like I had this like weird image a couple days ago. I'm not gonna do this, but I was thinking about it. I was like an extra in a high school play, and I want to shoot a special with no crowd in my hometown in that same theater.
That's funny, man.
It'd be like just so fucking weird, but it'd be cool because
Yeah,
you could
but there's
like,
nothing wrong with that. I think there's something quite liberal because I think as well is as creative people we have things in our mind that we want to make, and because no one's telling us it's okay to do it,
yeah,
or because we sort of get in our own heads. I mean, do you know what? Like that's one thing about lockdown, and it's gonna sound cunty, but I don't mean it in a cunty way. Is like I look at Instagram and there's people just putting out content, and some of it's good and some of it's not, but they're just putting it out there,
yeah,
you know. And
yeah,
I wish I had more of that in me because I
100%.
overthink it. Like I want everything to be perfect
Yeah,
before I put it out. Where sometimes it's just about putting it out, and if it doesn't work, and that's another thing about owning your own content. If you don't like it, you can just put it down, and people
yeah.
will forget about it mad quick. You know?
Yeah, there's like a self-importance, at least I'm guilty of that. Like, we're like, oh, I want it to be perfect, or, this joke I don't want to see. Now that stand-up's been gone for so many months, I'm like looking at like when Daniel and I did Comedy on State, which is like the best club in the United States, and like I featured for him. They have like a multicam system there that every set they just send you.
Oh, sick,
It's
sick,
fucking
sick.
amazing. And so I was like, oh, this is great. Like, then you have your submission videos, but I don't have any content out there. And now I'm like, what the fuck are you waiting for? What?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no one's going to like, oh, I spoiled my ender. Like when they see
yeah,
me
yeah,
in
yeah. No one gives a
5
fuck.
years.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
don't know, it's a weird one. Last thing I'm asking, we'll wrap it up.
yeah.
What, it doesn't really pretend COVID's not happening, but I like to ask comics, what advice would you give a new comic starting out? Like, let's pretend COVID didn't happen, and then we can do one where COVID
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah. Cool,
happening.
cool.
And it has to be other than do more stage time because it's a fucking bullshit answer. It's a true
I
one.
don't think that. Yeah, that's number one. I don't think it's bullshit. I think that's the honest truth. And whenever everyone
It's the
asks
most
me,
important thing, but it's like saying, how do you live your day? Don't forget to breathe. You have to do as much stage time as possible.
yeah,
Stage
yeah,
time as
yeah.
possible.
But
For sure.
I think people, and the only reason, and I'm not going to debate you on that. I will give another answer, but I think and I know why you're saying it because that's one thing every comic does say is just get more stage time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is probably number one. And when I say get more stage time, I don't just mean it as the general sense of just next question, please. I mean it like people genuinely, because comedy now has become a business where there is an avenue to do it. Like there's in England, there's university courses in comedy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
There is a real set way of how you can make it or how you can get into the business. And people because I get new comics asking me who have been doing it for fucking 6 months, how do I get an agent? And it's like, forget about that shit.
Yeah.
It's about getting up. And it's like, people think getting up a lot is twice a week. I'm talking about, you got to fucking get up 7, 8 times a week, But anyway, if I had to give advice to a new comedian, it would be, I'll tell you this one. Enjoy the beginning and enjoy the hard times. Do you know what I'm saying? Because those are going to be your best memories. So don't worry too much about those times where it's hard and you're struggling, because those are the memories you're going to enjoy the most. Do you know what I mean? Like some of
I love that.
The funnest times I had in comedy was me and a couple comedians. We ain't got fucking nothing going on in the business. We haven't earned a penny of comedy. We're all broke, and we would fucking, talk shit to fucking 3 o'clock in the morning because we all ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. No one's got to wake up and write a fucking script draft, and you know what I'm saying? No one's got to have a fucking meeting. Everyone's got fuck all going on, and we just talk shit and fucking laugh our fucking tits off, pretending that we knew anything about comedy. And these are your funnest times, man. And I think the problem is now what I see with a lot of new comics, because especially in England, there's a real fast trajectory. Like there's people who are on TV after their first year, 2 years in comedy.
Yeah.
That, you'll see that happening to people, your peers, and you'll start hating because when I started, no one in their first year of comedy was put on TV really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have that. I didn't have that where it's like, oh fuck, that person I know is now on Live the Apollo. Like I never had that. But and I know it's harder now than it was when I was younger, but enjoy that time, because that time's going to be your memories. Do you know what I'm saying? That time's going to be the funnest and easiest time. And there's something freeing about being able to be shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like now I have pressure now.
like I sell tickets, so motherfuckers come to the show and they come to see you and they're ready to see it, and they're not, you know, they ain't got time for me just to be shit. They like, brother, I've got a fucking babysitter. I've got, you know what I'm saying? Like, let fucking Jamali bring it.
I got a new shirt for this.
You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, there's something really enjoyable and freeing about being shit and having nothing on and just, you know, being fucking young, or even if you're old, you know, but being young and having fuck all on, man, and enjoy that moment and don't rush and don't, you know, savor those minutes, because that's going to be your, you know, that's going to be your memories, man.
Dude, that's an original one too. Yeah, people pass some interesting ones by, but I like that one a lot. So you got some stuff coming out, which we'll put in the link below and stuff like that. I'll put your social media.
I got some stuff. Everything on all of my social media is just my name. Sorry, my fucking battery's dying. All of my social media is just my name, Jamali Maddix. So add me or whatever, man.
Thank you, Jamali. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I hope you got what you needed.
Thank you. I guess I'll just call it Max White Presents.
Max